we created an agency. Over time, what ended up happening is I got involved. So my buddy over at Massage Envy is blowing that thing up, and he goes from that to wanting to apply the same membership model to chiropractic, which became The Joint. I got involved with that. We were developing 2/3 of the state of California, developing like 100 chiropractic offices. They went public, and I sold my share of that. In the middle of all of that, I blew up my little agency, and we focused on customer acquisition for health, wellness, and beauty small box retailers, and worked with them from basically cradle to grave. So we connect to their cash register, and we start on everything from generating that lead all the way to, years down the road. How do we get intentional referrals? How do we get them to consume more of our products, to stay a month longer, refer their friends, all that kinds of stuff. And so, that kind of just moved from that to the next franchise, which become acupuncture. Now we're doing the same thing there. We're going to open 100 acupuncture clinics in the state of California. And that bled into, you've heard things like Orange Theory Fitness and Amazing Lash and European Wax. Well, these are all basically third cousins of, Massage Envy. Basically, each time they had a big hit, an executive from that company started another one and said, how do I take this membership model and apply it to another service and just focus on that service, right? And so we do the marketing for all these little businesses. And so our little marketing agency has just continued to grow. Our focus is basically, helping small business owners achieve their dreams. And I have so much joy every day when I get out of bed in the morning, knowing that, and by the way, I work hard so that every member of this team here understands their entrepreneurial mindset, understands what that person on the other end is going through, the sacrifices they're making to start this small business, so that they understand when they're on the phone with them why maybe they're not anxious to take their call, or why they might be anxious when they don't think they're getting the results that they're getting, everything that they have on the line, right? And, we pray for our clients together. When we get together, we have our company meals, and we want to help them achieve their dreams. And we do that by acquiring customers and helping ensure those customers spend as much money with them as they can. And, that you were talking about this poster behind me, but this is kind of our guiding post. Everybody we hire, we make sure they're humble, hungry, and smart. And, for us, it's not just putting those words on there. We not only hire by it, but we fire by it. And if you're not willing, if there's anything that you say you stand for, you got some core principles, you're not willing to fire over them, then they're just words on a page. And, there's no integrity behind them, right? And we will hire and fire by that. Fortunately, we've only had to fire people a couple times, but I'll tell you, they knew it was coming, and later on thanked us for it. And our secret to success here is knowing that our three-legged stool is results, clarity, and scale. And the results are on, if I'm not acquiring a customer or getting them to spend more money, then we're not focused on it at all. So that's the results. And if we're going to do it, we have to have absolute clarity. So we will not work with anybody if we don't tie their cash register. If I can't tie everything I do back to that customer and how much money they spent and over what period of time, if I don't have those triggers of knowing when I need to reach out to them again, without that clarity, we refuse to do it. We've had major brands come to us offering us a lot of money to work with them, but saying we're not going to give you the API to our customer base. That's too proprietary. There's too much, liability. We don't want you to know that. And we just say, that's fine. We're not working with you, because I can't, one of the biggest nightmares of being a marketer is every day having to defend that you're doing what you say you do. They're always saying, it's not what you're doing, it's what I'm doing. And I'm like, no, I'm never going to have that discussion with you. Everything we do is going to have a call tracking number. Everything we do is going to be tagged with that offer when they download it. We will absolutely know against your customer base the very first time they spend $1 with you, and that we touch them first, and there'll be absolutely no arguing about it. And then the last one is scale. Everything has to scale. We got clients come to us all the time, and they're like, we want to do this one thing, and we look at it and go, disproportionately, we want to make you happy, but there's no way we can scale this to 1,000 locations or 5,000 locations. And so we work really hard. And the beautiful thing is, there are sometimes you get into a situation and you think there's no way you could scale that, but because those are the three legs and we want to do it so bad, you start to find, oh, wait a minute, what if we did this? What if we did that? And so one of the things, the privileges I get for doing customer acquisition for all these franchises, in addition to have equity positions in these companies and sitting on their boards, I see all the numbers. I see all the revenue flowing through. I see everything that we're doing to influence it. And then I look at that and go, okay, I'm making money, giving them a 10x return. Now I need to buy their business. And so I just start to get into those businesses. I own the very same businesses that our franchisees own. And you know what? That's our platform too. When I stand across the table from our clients, I say, look, I'm not just this agency trying to make money, spending your money. Like, I use all my stores as the petri dish, and until we prove it out, we don't spend any of your money. And I'm doing the exact same tactics in my business. My businesses are actually writing the same check, and I have partnerships in some of them. We don't get a discount. We write the same check, because if that check becomes painful to write for me, then what are they feeling like? I always want to feel like my client. And so we look at it a little bit differently.
That's fabulous.
I ran out of steam there, Perry. I don't know where.
No, I think getting back to the accountability of performance is really big for a lot of agencies. That I can't name names, but I got a client that was working with a branded co-promotion with a big public company, and the agency they had in there was so incompetent. I would have rather been working with a 14-year-old, and they couldn't track anything. All they could tell us was how many impressions and how many clicks and how much they spent. That's all. Like,
Josh,
so worthless.
Unfortunately, I know some of the largest agencies in the country that are still that way, and it's, the greatest challenge is you look at the chief marketing officers in these companies that are hiring these agencies, and honestly, they, like, when I bring them our metrics and stuff, they resist it. They're like, well, yeah, but how many page views did it serve up? I'm like, what? I just told you how many customers we converted. Yeah, but I want to know the page views. What?
Right.
Because they've been programmed
impressions, like,
at it.
Why do I care about impressions on AdWords and Facebook like that? And when I did the math, when I did it backwards and figured out how much we were spending for those impressions, it was more expensive than if we were running ads in the New York Times.
Oh, right.
The CPM was
I've
higher.
displaced so many large agencies. I remember some of them, we get in there and their biggest thing is they're saying, oh, you need to just advertise on what's the online digital radio, the Pandora, and you need to do this geo fencing and all this stuff. But there was so blurred on what the results were on some of these things.
Yeah.
I mean, they were trying to say that the money needed to go there before it went to PPC with high intent. I'm like, what? How did you get your job?
Right.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I totally agree with what you're doing, and I think that requirement to have the cash register a connection is a very integrous requirement.